Everyone. So there's so many things we can speak today, but I'm going to leave Sukkot for the rabbis. You're going to hear from them in Shabbat or in Sukkot or whatever. I want to speak about Yom Kippur. I'm sorry, you thought you're finished with it, but you're going to hear a little bit more about that. I want to give you one insight from Yom Kippur, from my experience, which was, I think, all of your experience, just like another point of view, and also share with you something interesting I found. So first of all, the moment I want to take you back is Ne'ilah. We were on the stage like a bunch of people with Chazan Albrecht, and there was a very strange moment. We sang, everyone together, we sang, Avinu Malkeinu, Choneinu Vaneinu. That was like towards the end. And then, right before it became like the highlight of the song, like Aseh Imanu, Chazan Albrecht looking at all of us on the stage and doing like that. Shh, don't sing now.
Hey,
and yes, I didn't know that. So I was like, what are you doing, man? We're in the middle of the song. Like, let me sing the Shema, like Aseh Imanu, you know? But he says to be quiet, so we were quiet because we don't want to get the look from Chazal Albrecht, of course. So we were quiet, and then exactly he did that, like towards the congregates, towards the crowd. And I like stood like kind of like in the end of the group, so I literally saw all the shul full of people. Like, you regularly to hear the voice of the davening, but you hear the chazan and everyone that, like the rabbis and everything, but it was just the congregates. And we spoke a lot about the power of community. Like we spoke a lot about it in the last, 2-3 weeks towards Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. And that was, for me, a moment, I think, like you all were there, so you felt it. But that was really the power of community, really the power of BT. I think I'm going to take that image like a years with me from now, because that was so powerful. So that's one thing about our community, about BT. Now, other moments of Yom Kippur was, walking around to breathe a little bit from the davening. And I found, probably it was just me. I know all of you were just sitting on the davening and were focused all the time. So I found a very interesting book. It's called The High Holidays Prayer Book Companion. In Hebrew it says, Chaver latfila leyamim noraim, a buddy for your davening for Yamim Noraim. It went out in 1994. I don't know how many of you were like members of the shul in 1994. I had, I won't say how much exactly, but only one digit at my age in this year. So we'll leave it like that. Anyway, it's very interesting. There's so many interesting things about that. I want to read you the last thing that it says in this book. It kind of like, it gives like the ideas of the highlights of the davening. You're supposed to read it like before the shofar and before Musaf and before the work of the Kohen HaGadol in Yom Kippur, and you get like an idea of what is it exactly, like what we need to think about that time and everything. So the last page says that, like the title is The Morning After. And I thought it's very powerful, and maybe we can take something for that. So it says the following. On the day following Yom Kippur, there are some synagogues that have a custom to begin the morning services 15 minutes early. This custom is clearly meant to demonstrate that we have changed. We are not prepared to step back into the same route we were in before the holidays. After all the efforts of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, our approach to life is fresh and vital. Our vigor and idealism are renewed. Things will be different. A friend once related another perspective on this custom of rising early after Yom Kippur. If you live your life differently for even 15 minutes, he said, then it was all worthwhile. Interesting. The last paragraph, the legendary Rabbi Israel Salanter is said to have observed that it is easier to master the entire Talmud than to improve just one aspect of your character. To the Jewish way of thinking, life is about growth. And every step of growth is a diamond to be treasured. What a beautiful paragraph. So I think that's maybe like the one thing I want to take with me for Yom Kippur, and maybe to suggest to you too. What we can take from Yom Kippur. I mean, it's so hard to imagine we're going to change our life. We spoke about it also. Like, really, I'm going to be a whole new person? Not for sure. Maybe yes, maybe no. But if we can just do the small steps. So like, to wake up a little bit early to achieve something before the davening, or to go, help someone that we usually don't, to add 2 more cents to the tzedakah I give, whatever. Small thing to just change ourselves and not to accept the fact we cannot be changed anymore. The fact we're saying even a small change is something for us means we did something throughout Yom Kippur and Rosh Hashanah. So I want to bless us that we be able to do that change and take that with us to Sukkot, that I feel like it's the most happiest Chag of the year. Like it says specifically, V'samachta b'chagecha. It's one of them of Sukkot. So again, I leave the rabbis to speak about Sukkot. Of course, they're going to have a lot of inspiring stuff to say about that. But I want to bless all of us in great Shana Tova with all of our davenings, B'ezras Hashem, to be accepted.